Alright, everybody. Alright, everybody. So, today I'm going to teach you basically photosynthesis. That's what we are going to do today. Not full, but I'll just give you a brief till dark reaction. We'll be continuing light reaction and dark reaction in detail in the next class. Okay. Right now, I'll be just giving a brief of what is photosynthesis, okay, what are photosynthetic pigments and all these. It's a just booster class for all of you. Before starting with it, let's learn about metabolism. Okay, just a second. So what we'll do is, let me select, yeah, this is well now. Yeah. Okay, so we'll do here first metabolism. Hope all of you are aware of metabolism, right? Energy we get, that's because the chemical processes which are occurring in our body. Metabolism is nothing but all the chemical processes occurring in our body. That's what we call metabolism. Now it's again of two types: anabolism and catabolism. Okay, now look, when I talk about anabolism, just remember that anabolism means it will require energy. And when does someone require energy? When it has to make something, right? When it has to make something, then only someone will require energy. So anabolism is when smaller compounds, okay, they join together to form a large compound. So in this case, energy will be required, correct? Similarly, when I talk about catabolism, so it will not require energy, but it will be least bothered about requiring energy. It will release energy. Okay, it will release energy. So remember, when do we release energy? When a larger compound, say, okay, it is breaking down. It is breaking down into smaller compounds. So in this case, it will release a lot of energy, and hence small compounds will be formed. Got it? So this is two types of metabolism. Now if I talk about photosynthesis, what kind of metabolism is it? Is it anabolism or catabolism? Let me tell you, wait. I'll clear this off. Look, when I talk about photosynthesis, correct? Photosynthesis. So what do we do in photosynthesis? CO2 plus O2 in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight, it forms glucose C6H12O6 plus hydrogen oxide, okay, plus water, plus whatever energy it is forming, okay, plus energy, okay, energy. Alright, now look over here. So whenever it is, when you see here, this is a large molecule, right? These are the things which you should not mind, but this is a large product and these two are smaller products which are joining to form this large product. So we say it is nothing but anabolism. So always remember, photosynthesis is an example of anabolism. Got it? It will require energy, right? What energy it is requiring? It is requiring light energy. Correct? Light energy is being required to form a large compound. Okay. Alright. Now, next up, we'll get to know about photosynthesis only. Okay. I'll tell you about chloroplasts. Alright. Stay tuned. Okay. Let us talk about photosynthesis. So in photosynthesis, I talked about the formation of C6H12O6, which is nothing but an organic compound. Okay, it is nothing but an organic compound. To photosynthesis, when we talk about photosynthetic organisms, that's plants, they convert light energy into chemical energy, and that chemical energy is in the form of ATP plus NADPH. Okay. ATP, adenosine triphosphate, NADPH is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate hydrogen. Okay, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate hydrogen. Alright. So whenever photosynthesis processes like photosynthesis take place, so these organisms, they convert the light energy into chemical energy, and that chemical energy is in the form of ATP plus NADPH. Okay, now what part in the photosynthetic organism, like let's take an example for photosynthetic organism. Here I'm going to take an example of, just a second. Here I'll be taking the example of a plant. Okay, select the circle. Alright, I'll be taking an example of a plant. Okay, in plants, what is the photosynthetic thing? You see all the green parts, right? All the green parts. If I talk about those desert plants, so there, the xanthotic, whatever we call it, xanthotic plants. So there they have the stem, the cactus, they have the stem which performs photosynthesis, right? Similarly, in plants, all the green parts, they perform photosynthesis. Now, major compound which does it is the leaf. In the leaf also, it is the mesophyll cells. Okay, mesophyll cells is basically between the upper and lower epidermis. Okay, there is mesophyll cells which is located between the upper and the lower epidermis. Remember that in one mesophyll cell, we have got about, in one mesophyll cells, there are about 20 to 40 chloroplasts. And in one particular cell, there are about 80 to 120 chloroplasts. Okay, this is clear, right? Let me tell you. Like, see, this is your epidermal layer. Like this, you have parenchymatous cells. This is a spill. Okay, this is your upper epidermis. This is your lower epidermis. And these are parenchymatous mesophyll cells. Okay, these are parenchymatous mesophyll cells. So it's a simple permanent tissue, right? Okay, got it? Now look. Now how does a chloroplast look like? Let's know about it also. How does a chloroplast look like? You've got something like this. You've got like this. Okay. These are granums, right? These are connected like this. Let's have one more. Like this, like this. Okay, now look. I'll mark it. I'll label it. Start. This is your membrane. What is it? It's the membrane. Now, you have got the membrane. Now you see this part. This is your what? This is your fluid-like cytoplasm, which is the stroma. Okay. Then you've got this one particular sac-like structure, which is your thylakoid. And when many such sacs, they join together, so it forms something which we called a granum. Okay. Always remember that the granum, in one granum, we've got so many thylakoids, and those have hollow spaces between them. Okay. And where are the chloroplasts located? The chloroplast is located on the membrane of thylakoid. On the membrane of thylakoid, you will find the chloroplasts. Got it? This is a very, you can say, simple diagram I have drawn here. Alright, clear no? Okay. Now, let us start with the main part what we are going to talk about. Now, we'll talk about photosynthesis. Now, don't think that photosynthesis is just a simple process where carbon dioxide, water, in the presence of sunlight, chlorophyll is breaking into glucose. Don't think it's just anabolism working here. Two processes are involved along with photosynthesis. Okay? Light reaction and dark reaction. Now, don't think that it's dark reaction, so it will only take place in dark places. No, it's not that. Dark reaction is dependent upon light reaction, and dark reaction is also called Calvin cycle. Not Kelvin, but Calvin cycle. Okay, light reaction, yeah, of course, in the presence of light, it's dependent upon light, but dark reaction is independent of light. Okay, it depends upon the products of the light reaction. I'll not go into it first. Before, I'll start with the photosynthetic pigments first. Okay, now look, let's talk about photosynthetic pigments. Photosynthetic pigments. Alright, so when I talk about it, I've got two types of photosynthetic pigments. One is your fat or your lipid soluble, another is your water soluble. So when I talk about your lipid or fat soluble, okay, just like in humans we've got vitamins, no? We've got vitamins, no? Water soluble vitamins and fat soluble vitamins. I'll tell you, no? Water soluble vitamins, W, B, C, vitamin B and C are water soluble, and fat soluble, whatever is left, A, E, K, all these are fat soluble, and water soluble is vitamin B and vitamin C. I make you remember like this. Now, coming back here, lipid or fat soluble photosynthetic pigment. So first, I'll just draw a line. Works now? Okay. Like this. We've got actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then this 5 again is divided into 2 more. 1 second. Okay, let's begin now. So first is your chlorophyll A, then chlorophyll B, chlorophyll C, chlorophyll D and carotenoids. Got it? Chlorophyll A, always remember it is universal. It is universal, it is primary. Okay, it is universal and it is the primary. Whether you go anywhere, you'll find chlorophyll A. Chlorophyll A is always present. Formula is C55H72O5N4Mg. Okay, we've got like this structure is there. Okay, we've got 4 structures, 4 nitrogens are there, and in the between you see a magnesium is sitting. Okay, these are not connected by ionic bond, it's a non-ionic bond. Remember this. Okay, so it's universal. Formula I told you, C55H72O5N4Mg. Alright. Then we've got chlorophyll B. It is present in higher plant-like character. Also, one more thing I'll tell you. Chlorophyll A is blue-green in color. It's bluish green. Okay. Chlorophyll B is yellow-green in color. And it is found in higher plant-like character. It's a higher plant-like character. Chlorophyll C, it's found in diatoms and brown algae. Okay, diatoms and brown algae. Chlorophyll D is found in red algae. And when I talk about carotenoids, so it's of 2 types. It's an accessory pigment actually. It's an accessory pigment, and it is found in xanthophylls. Okay, it's found in xanthophylls, and it's types are xanthophylls and carotene. Xanthophyll is pure yellow in color. Carotene is yellowish orange in color. Alright, this is clear, no? We'll tell you once again. These are a lipid or fat soluble, where we've got chlorophyll A, which is universal or primary. It's bluish green in color. Chlorophyll B, which is a higher plant-like character. It's yellowish green in color. Chlorophyll C, which is found in diatoms and brown algae. Chlorophyll D is found in red algae. Carotenoids are of 2 types. It's an accessory pigment, 2 types, is a carotene and xanthophylls. Xanthophylls is yellow in color. Carotenoid is yellowish orange in color. Lipotene is there, something called lipotene. Okay, liptotene, sorry. Liptotene is red in color. Tomatoes are red because of liptotene. It's a fact, you can remember it. Okay, alright. Now this was about lipid soluble. What I told you, these are of two types photosynthetic pigment. One is lipid soluble, one is water soluble. Now we'll talk about water soluble ones. Alright. So water soluble, you've got only one, that is phycobilin. Phycobilin. It's again of two types. Phycoerythrin and phycocyanin. Okay. Now see. Basically, water soluble is found in blue-green algae and red algae. Okay. Blue-green algae and red algae. Red algae, I told you once more, no, chlorophyll D, right? Now see, phycobilin is a water-soluble photosynthetic pigment which is found in phycoerythrin and phycocyanin, and it is found in blue-green algae and red algae. This is just for you to remember it right now only. Okay, I don't want any kind of things now. Now see, now we're going to start. One more thing, okay, one more difference I forgot to tell you. In between chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, what's the formula I told you? C55 H72 O5 N4 Mg. This is for chlorophyll A. For chlorophyll B, again we have C55 H70, okay, O6 N4 Mg. 1 minute. It's O6 N4. It's not working, no. I'll write here, no. Mg. It's 4 down, okay, 4 down. So now what's the difference you find here? Any difference which you find here? Yeah. Here we have got the methyl group, right? And here we have got the aldehyde group. That's the only difference in chlorophyll A and B. In chlorophyll A, you've got the methyl group. In chlorophyll B, you've got the aldehyde group. Rest, magnesium is in the between in both the cases. Both are non-ionic bonds. It's common in both the cases. All right. Now I'll tell you about a paper chromatography. This question is asked in most of the Olympiad exams. Okay, because this topic is very common, okay. Paper chromatography. Okay, whenever you see in a paper, you'll see like this. Karte chromatography. So in the very down you will find chlorophyll B. Uske upar you will find chlorophyll A. Then you will find xanthophyll. And sabse upar carotenoid. Okay. Now see, chlorophyll B, what's the color I told you? Yellowish green. Chlorophyll A, bluish green. Xanthophyll, yellow. Carotene, yellowish orange. Okay, so very down you will find chlorophyll B, then chlorophyll A, then xanthophyll, then carotene. Clear? Now, let us come to photosystem. Okay. Photosystem is important to learn before coming to light reaction and dark reaction. I'll tell you about photosystems. Photosystems is also called as quantosome. Alright. Coming here too. I'll change the color now. It's very boring now. Bluish. Let's take bluish now. Okay. 1 minute. Yeah. Photosystem or quantosome. Okay. Over here. So there are two types of photosystems, remember, okay? We've got PS1, PS2. PS1 is also P700 and PS2 is also P680. Just a difference of 20, right? PS1 is the, you can say, the supreme, having 700. PS2, just a little minor, okay? People see it as a minor class. So just 20, difference of 20, 680. Now let's talk about the difference between PS1 and PS2. First, let's understand it, then I'll draw a chart for you. Look, when I talk about PS1, then if I talk about PS1 here, alright, so basically if I take like this, okay? This is your thylakoid, okay? This is your thylakoid. It's two thylakoids are there over here, and this is your stromal lamellae. Okay, it's a stromal lamellae. I forgot to label that time. Or you call it the stromal lamellae or the stromal thylakoid. Okay, it's called the stromal lamellae or the stromal thylakoid. Now look, this is your granum thylakoid. This is your granum thylakoid. This is your stromal thylakoid. Okay, stromal thylakoid. Now let's see here. Basically, whenever, if I talk about PS1, PS1 is located over where? So PS1 is always on the outer side, not in the inner side. This red color, this is your outer side, the covering. Here you will find PS1. PS1 is found in these places. So we can say it's along the stroma. Why along the stroma? Because it is dipped in the stroma. This whole here is your stromal part. So this is your stroma, so it is along the stroma. And when I talk about PS2, again I draw it like this. So where will find PS2? PS2 is found here. This is your PS2, where you will find it PS2. It is found along the granum. Along the granum. So along the stroma we have PS1, along the granum we have PS2. So PS1 and PS2, this is the major difference. PS1 outer side, PS2 inner side. Now I'll draw a chart here. Okay, PS1, PS2. Photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. This is the reaction center can absorb PS1. Okay, reaction center can absorb PS1. And the maximum wavelength, it's basically PS1 has the maximum wavelength, which is 700 nanometer. And I told you it is along the stroma, which is the non-oppressed part of grana thylakoid and stroma thylakoid. It is found on the grana thylakoid and stroma thylakoid, already told. And it is the NADP reductase. This question is asked. Which is the NADP reductase? Always PS1 is the NADP reductase. Now PS2 maximum wavelength is 680 nanometer, and it is, I told you, it is along the oppressed along the granum thylakoid, along the lumen. It is along the lumen in the granum thylakoid, and it is the H2O splitting complex, the water splitting complex. So question from here also it will be asked, H2O splitting complex is the PS2 and PS1 is the NADP reductase. This is it about PS1 and PS2, photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. Now a brief about light reaction and dark reaction. I will tell you a little bit. Light reaction, dark reaction. So when I talk about light reaction and dark reaction, it is dependent upon light. Always it is dependent upon light. It is a photochemical reaction. When I tell that it is a photochemical reaction, whenever the word chemical is, photo means light. Light energy to chemical energy, in the beginning I told, it is the formation of ATP plus NADPH. In the very beginning I have cleared this thing. So it's ATP plus NADPH. So if it is photo to chemical energy, so where will it take place? It will take place in the membrane of thylakoid. It will take place, light reaction, in the membrane of thylakoid. Now dark reaction, it's a biosynthetic reaction. Now since it's a biosynthetic reaction, remember that it is always dependent upon products of light reaction. What are the products of light reaction? The products of light reaction are ATP and NADPH. So it is dependent upon ATP and NADPH, and it will always occur in the stroma. Light reaction in the membrane of thylakoid, dark reaction in the stroma. That's the matrix. Correct. So we have got a brief about light reaction, dark reaction. The next part I'll be telling the light reaction and dark reaction in detail. It was just a photosynthesis part. And a question can be formed here, like if a plant is kept in light and then it is kept at a dark place, so what will happen? Which reaction will stop first? So always when it is put from a light place, like from the sunlight to a dark place, so always you will have the answer on your tips, right? What will be the answer? The light reaction will stop first. Why so? Because light reaction is dependent upon light directly. So if light is not there, light reaction will stop. That is why the correct answer will be that light reaction will stop first and then the dark reaction will stop. Why the dark reaction will stop? This is the question, right? We can be asked in assertion and reason that dark reaction also stops, light reaction also stops. So yes, both are correct. Why? Because dark reaction is dependent upon the products of light reaction. If light reaction does not take place, products will not be formed. If products will not be formed, so dark reaction will not take place. That's it. That's it for today. Now I'll wave a thank you to all of you. Okay. Alright.